Yeah, right. I'm also a graduate from University of California. I was sitting like this, I think around 2006 to 2009, right? Way back. Right? I was surprised to see this infrastructure right now is very interesting. You can do workshops here without like any skills. I have close to 14 years of experience in the software engineering industry. Right now working as underhead and senior engineering for Velas. Have you ever heard about Velas before? Yes? Yes, Velas. Nice. I can see it. Right? So I'm a pretty passionate guy around AWS. I have the AWS professional certification and certification like in the security certification. So today what I'm at, and I'm also community leader for AWS and a leader. Like now these guys, Minat and his team are doing this AWS Cloud Club. We are creating some of these sessions upcoming days as well. We will try to keep our level best up to you all to get some knowledge about data. Okay. Now let's move on related to the topic. I was surprised to see actually only few people are having AWS media. Yeah. Now raise your hand who's having a debit card. Bank debit card. Everyone is having a bank debit card. Credit cards. Okay. Not a card. I got a credit card. Debit card will be on the debit. If you have a debit card, you can easily get a 3-year account. So first thing you have to do after today's sessions, please make sure you have a AWS 3-year account where you have paid AWS without spending 0 rupees. Okay, I think Masam will use that session for you to work, but that is really important. Now, you all are probably from the computer science program or like physical science. What do you all do? Computer science. All are into computer science. Yeah. Physical science as well. Yeah. So if you're engineering, I was here as a physical science. Stream doesn't matter. Right? You have the curiosity, right, and willing to learn. That's it. I'm pretty happy to see that you all are here today to learn now. Okay, so let's move on. Now, when it comes to AWS, right, Amazon Web Services, there are, you can't learn everything. Okay? If you think about like you are doing
or any other physics or something, you can't be expert on that, no? Right? Pretty difficult. Then you have to learn and be a professor as well. Then you can say, okay, I know everything. It's pretty much the same with AWS. AWS is a cloud provider, right? Like Google and Azure. There are so many services under AWS. What do you think? How many services does AWS is actually providing to the end users? Guys or the people who are joining online, you can put the answers in the chat. Huh? The number is there, 239 plus. I think I did this slide deck 1 year ago, right? So probably now this should be 250 plus or 60 plus. Oh, can you learn all of these? You can't, right? So now there are 9 specific services, right? As an undergraduate, you should be really aware of, or you should have at least some kind of hands-on experience before going into the industry. I'll tell you why, right? These days, I'm normally doing the final interview. These guys are doing interviews for associate engineers, interns, software engineers. CVs are coming from all like pretty much. I think you know it's very difficult difficult to find internships these days, right? We all should agree with me, right? I can see when we post advertisement, 500 plus organizations, people who is the best to work, like Cisco, WSO2, like how many CVs they will get. So how you can be like that shining model or the shining star above, like alongside these 500 CVs? What do you all think? In our context, we like when I'm having a chat with Pasan while having a tea right now, actually, I asked him, okay, now we need to hire a ASC and SC. You did the interview yesterday, right? How was it? CV was perfect. Dean list, right? Very good scores and all. Practical knowledge. Is the industry searching for like crazy theoretical people? Yes, theory should be there, but practical should be definitely there. I think 5 years ago, this should have been a different story. Right now, forget about it. Huh? You should have hands-on. That's what I'm saying. Small crowd here, it's brilliant. Let's say 50 plus, all around, like with the online and the physical. Have a goal, right? To learn. I'm not saying learn AWS. Huh? I'm an AWS fan, but I'm not saying learn AWS. Learn AWS or GCP or Azure. Anything you're willing to learn. When you're going to the industry, make sure you are confident enough
to say I know cloud computing as well. Clear? So when you're thinking of that part, as I mentioned, you can't learn everything. I don't know everything. I'm a solution architect.
plus a security specialist in AWS, but I don't know everything in AWS. I can say I know only 10% overall. For you all as undergraduates, these are key, right? Compute, right? Compute. Now, I'm saying these, I'll share you the slide deck with you all with Binath. Binath will share that with you all. I'm just like giving a small like a session here. No? Please go and Google and learn. Right? This is just to like make you guys or you all like hype up to learn something. Compute. Compute means what? You have the CPU memory to do some work, data processing, right? Or run application or something. AWS is providing what? EC2, very famous service, Elastic Computer Service, right? That's the very basic service you should know. Then there's a one called ECS, right? Have you all worked with Docker before? Raise your hand. I can see few, right? Kubernetes? No. Have you heard about Kubernetes?
It is, I would say, less featuristic than Kubernetes, but doable, right? ECS, Dockerization and everything. ECS is the thing. Then the Lambda. Have you ever heard about Lambda functions? Yes? Of the physics Lambda, all those things. AWS Lambda. Yes. How much? Okay. Where are you coming? So, go and read. Couple of the data. So lambda is very high. In natural, you have, I think, it is still have few functions similar to an opposite function. In Google, exact. So compute. Serverless lambda basically need to be to a back to a team to so easy is not here. Right? You are not then you have the story. Think about you have dealing with that. Simple type of application.
University of California, right? You are building a simple. I'm just getting a use case. Then you need to have a database. You need to have microservices to be running. You need to have a web app, right? In the sense of user interface. Those things are done, correct, right? So to cover very basic web application or like let's say a service, you need compute. Then you need to have the storage. AWS is providing RDS. RDS is like relational data store. You know about relational databases. Postgres, the ekat danna kenepa, you definitely should know like MySQL, Postgres, right? Any other like relational databases you have worked with apart from MySQL and Postgres? SQ, yeah, Microsoft version, no? Yeah. So all of these are actually supported by AWS, right? Then NoSQL databases, probably you have learned and tried it out, no? So DynamoDB is a very famous NoSQL database provided by AWS, right? And very famous storage. This is not a relational storage. S3. There's a one called S3 bucket. With the name, we say S3 bucket. What we can store there is like static objects. Think about like this. You all have Google accounts, like Gmail, right? And you have Gmail storage, right? Where you store your images, files, and all, right? Similarly, you can use S3 bucket to store similar objects. In our day-to-day web application development, we use S3 buckets to store static content. Now, when Pasan is going to do that, the workshop related session, he will be hosting static web, let's say web pages in the S3 bucket. Okay, very cheap, highly reliable, and like scalable storage S3. Clear, right? You have to know about that. Then there are few things when you are working with especially free tier account, AWS free tier account, you should know IAM, Identity and Access Management. IAM stand for. Uh, for any application, you need authorization, username, and a password. Neither. When you are logging to application, you need username and password. Okay. So similarly in AWS, to support the access, who has access to what services and all, giving the privileges, permissions and all, they have a very comprehensive service called IAM. Okay. You have to know about that. Then the networking. It's not about simple networking you have in your like university or any other places. AWS, they have their own networking concepts. These are not rocket science at all. You all are like coming from like very good education background. If you give 2 to 3 days, like concentration on these services, you will learn, guaranteed, right? Work as a team, learn as a team, then you will definitely would be able to cover all of these services. I'm pretty sure, right? So there's a networking service called VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, right? So you need to know about that as well. And finally, there's a one called CloudWatch. Let's say you are running a web application or a certain service in AWS, you need to generate logs, right? In any application, how you are troubleshooting most of the time, probably in the debug mode. Plus, If you want to get some more info, you will log, right? I hope you all know about logging. So when you log in AWS, all the logs are streamed to a service called AWS CloudWatch. So that's also really important to learn about CloudWatch and how the logs are being there and how you can search and get more information from CloudWatch logs. Are you all clear about these 9 services? Right? So I'm not going to cover each and every service, right, one by one in depth today, right? Just want to give you, right, okay, these are the services you should definitely learn before going into the industry. Clear? Any questions? Any questions from anyone from the audience who are joining online? Adil, what about your AI usage? Uh, ChatGPT, raise your hand who are using ChatGPT. For all the work, you are now using ChatGPT, no? Right? Any other Gemini or any other tool? Right, good. Any hand have used Lovable? No? Have you ever heard about the tool called Lovable? Note it down, right? I'm pretty sure you all don't know like those things. Try to note it down. Then you won't like you would be able to like go and check what it is, right? A Copilot, yeah, no? GitHub Copilot, cool. Yeah. Now, I mentioned about I'll go through this very fast because I'm not going to cover in depth, right? I actually mentioned about these things, users, groups, and all. VPC, okay, the networking layer under the AWS networking layer, there are very like specific or certain components. VPC, region, availability. Forget about these things for now, right? Region, VPC are really important to know, right? Then EC2, I have mentioned to you like nothing crazy there. You can deploy services, right? Container orchestration, I mentioned about these things, especially if you want to deploy something containerized, you can use ECS. And Amazon is having their own Kubernetes cluster as well, called Amazon EKS, right? Those I don't think is pretty much more technical, but this one you have to learn definitely. Lambda functions, right? Serverless, what is serverless is important. S3 I have mentioned, object storage. These ones I have mentioned to you, CloudWatch, yeah. And before I wrap up, right, on the basic intro, this is a reference architecture. In the sense, not sure you all can clearly see it, right? The services I have mentioned. So this is a Velaris in a very simple way, like providing you all a very simple diagram about Velaris, how it is being deployed. Can you see the services basically I have mentioned are here? You have the S3 bucket here. You have the S3 bucket, right? Forget about other stuff. You have Lambda functions, right? Then you have these are like ECS clusters, right? Then you have the different databases, relational databases, NoSQL databases. You have the caching and all. You have load balancers, and this side you have what do you call the CloudWatch or the housekeeping services as well. So as I mentioned previously, if you are building a platform in AWS, definitely there is 9 services I have mentioned at the very beginning. At least 5 or 6 will be used, right? So knowing that will give you a huge advantage. Okay. Uh, okay. Any other questions before I wrap up? So the key takeaways for you all during this quick session, right? The quick intro session, learn the basic AWS services, right? Make sure you have a free tier account, okay? And if possible, if you like willing to move forward with the cloud computing, go for the professional certifications, right? One example is certified cloud practitioner. I'll tell you a story, right? When we were doing our degree around 2006 to 2009, hype was around Java, right? Hype was around actually Java, learning Java. So I was doing physical science. Main subject was electronics, right? And I did BIT as well, University of Colombo in parallel. Yeah. Why? Like there were like let's say 500 plus undergraduates. 10 within that 500 plus undergraduates, there were 10 people, like a group of 10, who were going towards that. Okay, let's learn Java as well. When we are passing out from the university, let's make sure we have the Sun certified Java professional certification. Only 10 now, out of 500, only 10. So we did it, right? When I was passing out, I had the Java certification. I had the honors degree here. I had the honors degree from Colombo, and I was a colorsman in University of California. Did all of these in parallel, which means you all can do. I'm not like a crazy guy, right? Same person like you are. So key here would be that small percentage. I always tell, get these certifications. We don't get any CVs who are having AWS practitioner certified, AWS associate architect certified. Uh, Graduates we are not getting as CVs. Just the usual degree, honors, so second class, upper, first class, dean's list, all, and nothing else. Some are coming with extracurricular. That's brilliant, right? But yeah, you have to have the balance. So before I wrap up, again, I'm telling you, if you want to shine, definitely within the next 1 to 2 years in the industry and get a job as fast as possible when you are ready to move to the industry, work as a team. Might be difficult to work as an individual. Work as a team, 3 or 4 or 10, it's up to you. Get some certifications done. Not saying AWS only, go for Google. Google have it, Azure have it, do it. Financial requirement is also there, right? I hope you are getting Mahapalo bursary. Right now it's 7,500, isn't it? This certification is, I think, practitioner will cost you around 7,000 something. 1 month bursary. Spend on it, you will have a greater career in the upcoming years to come. Right? That's how you should think. Right? So I'll wrap up. Right? Feel free to have a chat with me in person if you require related to career, right? How you should proceed or anything. What are the things you have to learn apart from this, right? Buzz me. I'll be here, right? While Hassan is doing the session. Afterwards, also connect with me in LinkedIn. There are many people asking questions in LinkedIn, right? Through messaging. So you can always ask, right? I'll try my level best to reply within the day or the next day. Okay. Thank you. Any questions before I'll hand over to Pasan? All good. Hope you all got something out of this, right? The key would be learn or like be that 500 group, right? Or be that the 1% on University of Calais. That's it. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah. So online, guys, can you all hear me? Good. All right. So good morning to all of you. Now we do. So now we do have a small problem here. So the plan was to host a static website and guide you all through the steps one by one. But unfortunately, I don't think any of y'all have AWS accounts, right? Cool.
And you want to like try to set up or configure the AWS media account right now? Are you all comfortable or just listening and do it later? What do you all prefer?
It would take around 15 odd minutes to create a free tier account. So let's create it, no? It's 9:45, so around 10, 15 minutes.
Start here.
Okay.
You can do it now if you want.
Yeah, so what I said was it's 9:45. So let's give around 15 minutes so the
Yeah,
guys
give
can,
them
yeah.
15 minutes to see whether can get the media account.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'll just share screen and show you all like how to navigate into the free tier account.
Are you sharing the screen?
Yeah.
No. For the like
Oh. So you will be redirected to a page like this. From here onwards, you can just go and simply click on create account. And then you can give your email address as per the root user email address and any account name that you prefer.